Good morning, students. Good morning, parents. Good morning, our representatives. So welcome to Nubi Open Day. So today's session is going to be a Q&A session. We've received quite a lot of questions from our students, our parents. They want to learn about studying in the UK, and that is why we have our panelists here to let us know what some advantages are there to study in the UK. We also have some questions here that we'll be asking. But before we start the Q&A, I would like to say that students and parents who are here can drop their questions in the chat box. We'll attend to all questions. So please do well to start putting your questions in the chat box. We'll ask the panelists. So we have Mrs. Rose Omonubi here. She's the Executive Director of Nubi Educational Counseling, and she'll be giving us her opening remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning, parents, students, and our esteemed partners that made time out to join us today. We thank you so much for coming to this open day. We're very delighted to have you. We are overwhelmed by we actually wanted this open day to just be for Nubi staff to educate our parents on different study destinations. And then we now advertised it, and we're working with two banks. They advertise it for us, and we are overwhelmed by the number of people that, are coming for this open day today. We have close to 1,000 registrations. We had to break them down to different destinations. So we are starting with UK, and UK is just 1 hour per destination. So we're just going to be very, very brief. The main fair is starting in April, but today the parents want to know more about different study destinations, and it will help them to make up their minds where to go to study. And what we want to do is, as you introduce yourself, you have 3 minutes to tell them about your school. Only 3 minutes, just tell them about your school. And if you can, please tell them why they must come to study in the UK. And they want to know. And so I don't want to take much of the time because we have just 1 hour for this event. And Christiana, who is the moderator, will moderate and make sure that we don't spend more than 3 minutes each, so that we give them time. It's their day to ask questions, so we must give them time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So just a reminder, students, please start dropping your questions. So I will start the introduction with Samuel of University of O. So please, can you introduce yourself in 3 minutes? Thank you.
Hi there, nice to meet everybody. My name's Sam. I'm from the University of Hull's Global Engagement Office. We are the 14th oldest university in England. We have 4 faculties covering about 200 different courses. We cover everything from business through to medicine, science and engineering. Reason to come and study in the UK, we offer fantastic courses with really good academics leading them. And we have students come to us from all over the world. So you don't just get to come to the UK and experience English culture and what the English education system can give you. You'll also get to meet students from everywhere, all over the planet, and get to make links and make friends and connections through them. So that's why I would say come and study in the UK.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction. So we have Winston from Studying Group.
Thank you very much, Christiana, and thank you, Rose, for inviting us to this session today. My name is Winston. I'm a student recruitment manager at Study Group. We are a pathway provider to various different destinations around the world. In particular, in the UK, we have roughly around 18 university partnerships currently offering both foundation programs, international year 1 programs, as well as pre-master's programs for any students that do require that. One of the top reasons why to study in the UK, I'm sure all of my esteemed colleagues will share this, is that number one, it is a fantastic destination and one of the most popular destinations for students. And academically, it's got such a wide, diverse portfolio of universities that you can study at. You've got the Russell Group universities, which are the higher ranked, as well as the migrant universities. But generally, the education in the UK is one of the top that you can receive at any destination around the world. Fantastic location, very diverse in terms of international students as well. So it's just a brilliant location for all students that want to study there, including the post-study work visas that's coming into play this year as well. It's just fantastic and endless opportunities for students within the UK.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So can we have Caroline from Brookhouse?
Okay, hello everybody. Good morning, everyone. I'm Carolyn Blackshaw. I'm the Director of Marketing for Brookhouse. Brookhouse has got quite a good name in Nigeria. We've been operating for quite a number of years, and we've had a lot of eminent Nigerian students go through our college and through to very good jobs and very good universities, not only in the UK, but worldwide. We take students from the age of 11 right through to 19. We at the lower end, we're like a secondary school, and at the upper end of the college, it's pathways to university, so A-levels and foundation programs. You may have heard of us because we have a football academy, so that makes us a little bit different. You don't have to be in our football academy, you can just be with us to study, or you can be in the football academy and studying alongside being trained and having your football development. You may have heard of us. We had 2 boys in the FIFA World Cup, 2 Nigerian boys, and I must have been I was at the Nubi Fair. I think the last time you had a Nubi Fair in a hotel in Lagos, and I think I was the only white woman in the bar cheering for Nigeria when I was watching our 2 boys from Brookhouse playing in the World Cup. So if you want to study at an excellent college and school in the UK with progression pathways to fabulous universities, both in the UK and overseas, or going into the world of football, then come and talk to us. Okay, is that my 3 minutes, Cristiano? I've got another few minutes. Gone quiet on me.
That is okay.
Krishana, you're breaking.
Thank you so much for that. So can we have Francis?
Yes,
okay.
Hi,
so can have so let's have Miss Brooks from can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You were breaking up earlier on, but we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that.
And Francis, do go ahead. I've just been invited to speak, but I can see that you're ready, so please do go. And
no. You go ahead. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much. We're all very polite, aren't we? Well, thank you so much for having us. And I'm here today with one of our pupils, Sheena Jibawu. So if you don't mind, I'll split the 3 minutes. Maybe I'll talk for 1.5 minutes, and I will let one of our pupils talk about what it's like to be a student from Lagos in the UK, and she can talk to you a little bit about her experience. And Harrogate Ladies College is quite a small school. It's a very family orientated school. So I think that's what makes us really special. The girls really get that one-to-one education. They don't really get lost in the system. It's very important to us. Our school motto is I am me. And so therefore we really believe in developing the whole child, and both pastorally and academically as well. And we offer pupils many leadership skills. As you will see, Sheena is the head of boarding, so she has a really active role in school life. And also lots of these opportunities pupils are able to put on their UCAS forms, and we do make sure that we help girls to apply for the Russell Group universities, Oxford, Cambridge, London School of Economics, and so on. And I'm sure Sheena can also talk to you about her offers as well. We have academic excellence. We are a boarding school from 2 to 18. Boarders usually start to live with us from around about Prep 6, which is 10 years old, and they can board with us all the way through to 18. And we have a wellbeing centre as well, which is something that makes us quite different. We make sure that the pupils not only do, study academically, but we do sort of mindfulness with them, make sure they're active, they do activities to really keep them busy. So I would like to think that we create a home from home, but I'm going to pass to Sheena just because I think, you can, obviously I'm going to say fantastic things about the school, but I think it's really nice to hear a student's perspective. So may I invite Sheena to talk for 1.5 minutes?
Hello, good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so my name is Sheena or Rika Jibo, depending on where you're from. And I obviously go to Harrogate Ladies College, and I can honestly say that it is one of the best decisions that I've made, because I was a bit skeptical about going to a girls' school. And I feel like once I got here, it was like, yes, this is the place for me. And I've been offered with so many opportunities. I mean, I have an academic scholarship. I took on things that I never thought I'd be able to. I became the head of boarding, I became a prefect. And I think the school has really pushed me to not just coast, but to really push myself to be better in every aspect, especially with my academics, because before when I came, I was just kind of coasting, but then I got here and there's friendly competition, but there's still competition. So you're always pushing to be the best, and your teachers are always there, always supporting you. And even with university offers and university applications this year, I had a bit of a setback, but the school really supported me all the way. And now I have offers from all of my universities that I applied to, and I'm hoping to study at King's College starting in September. So yeah, I would definitely say Harrogate Ladies College is the place to be.
Thank you very much, Sheena. And thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So can we have Francis?
Yes, thank you very much, Christiana. So my name is Francis Adekoya. I work for Into University Partnerships, and we've got a variety of university partnerships in the UK. And if I was able to share the map with you right now, you would see that we've got universities in England, we've got universities in Scotland, and we've got one university in Northern Ireland. I guess the only region of the UK where we haven't got a university is Wales. Talking about that, our university foundations are university-based. So what that means is that students begin to study on the campus of the university on day one. We've also got universities where we've got, or rather we've got foundations that are more standalone. So once students come in to study on their foundation with us, they are able to progress into a variety of universities in the UK. So that option will be for students who hasn't quite made up his or her mind yet about the university that they want to study at. That's fine. If you want to come to the UK, experience the UK, study on the foundation program before deciding on the university to progress to, that is good. We've also got the Newton A-level, which as far as I know, is the only A-level college that is located on the campus of a university. It is located on the campus of University of East Anglia. So what that means is that students have the best of both worlds. They are good, they would have the care that they need based on their age while they study on the A level, but they also would have a soft landing in being able to interact with students who are already in the university. We should be able to talk some more during the course of the event, and I'll be happy to take any questions, whatever they may be. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we have Matt from Padua College?
Thank you and good morning, and thank you first of all to Nubi and Rose and her team for having us join you today. Great to be here. My name is Mark Jeans. I'm one of the directors of Padworth College, obviously in the UK. Padworth was established in 1963 by a gentleman called Peter Fison, who was an Oxford University professor, and he was keen at the time to bring the tutorial style teaching that is paramount at Oxford to school level education. And Padworth was originally a girls' school, an international girls' school, but became co-ed about 20 years ago. And today, Padworth is an international boarding and day school for students aged 14 to 19. And our focus is very much helping students prepare for university entrance and progression. And we've had a long history of recruiting, enrolling students from West Africa, including Nigeria. We offer a broad range of academic programs, as I said, with a focus on preparing students for university entry. We're a small school with up to 100 boarders and 20 day students. And that's an important consideration because we feel that means we can provide more support to the students and get to know the students better, to get to know them more closely, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. And we're very much an international community. So we have students from about 30 different nationalities represented. And within our pool of 100 students, we would typically have a small number, 2 or 3 students from West Africa. And we've got a fantastic location. We're located close to the university town of Reading in Berkshire. Reading gets you into London in about 30 minutes on the train, and we're about a 40-minute drive from London Heathrow. So if you're looking for a school with close proximity to London and to key transport links, we're an excellent option. In terms of what makes Padworth different, we very much have a strong focus on the development of independent learning for students that are coming to us to study A-levels and or foundation programs. We see that's an important part of our proposition. For most of our students, we are the last step on their education before they progress on to higher education. And part of our commitment is to help students realize their academic potential, but also to help them think through and identify the right career options, which of course in the first step is what degree they should be covering at university. We very much focus on small class sizes, average of 8 to 10, and every student has a personal tutor. So we have a tutorial model, and they will meet with their tutor at least daily, sometimes more than once a day. And the tutor will help them both with their academic progression, their pastoral progression, so how they are managing in terms of being in a boarding school, but also with their university applications. Alongside students studying A-levels and the NC UK Foundation, we also offer a medical school preparation program for students interested in applying to medical school, and also Oxbridge preparation programs. And all of our students benefit from a high level of pastoral support to support them in their ongoing journey to university. In terms of programs, we enroll students from age 14, as I mentioned, onto a 2-year GCSE program or a 1-year GCSE program. We also offer A-levels over 2 years or 18 months. That's a January start. And we have a 1-year A-level program for students transferring into year 13. And we are also an accredited delivery partner of NC UK, and we offer the NC UK International Foundation Year program, which I think is both well known and popular in Nigeria, with 4 pathways: business, engineering, science, and humanities. And that provides a 1-year program for students that are typically enrolling in year 13 at age 17. And then they can progress on to a range of universities, including a number of Russell Group institutions.
Sorry, Mark, you have 30 seconds more.
30 seconds. Well, my last comment, thank you, is we are offering academic scholarships for students from all countries, and we'll be happy to discuss those either later on when we have the Q&A, or if people are interested directly after today's session. But thank you again.
Thank you so much. And last but not the least, we have Emma from University of Nottingham. Can we have you, please?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So my name's Emma. I'm joining you this morning from Accra in Ghana, because we have a liaison office to support students from across the African continent that are looking to join the University of Nottingham. So at the University of Nottingham, we've got a huge range of courses, and I think we've heard about lots of different pathway options, A-level options, and if you're looking to come to Nottingham, you do have those different options available to you in terms of whether you would want to choose a foundation program that is hosted by the university or that is run in partnership with our foundation provider, or whether you would want to do A levels, or whether you would want to do perhaps a separate foundation elsewhere. So really the only courses that you would need A levels or the International Baccalaureate for at Nottingham would be limited to more or less kind of medicine and perhaps veterinary medicine as well. So as a university, why would you consider Nottingham? We're a member of the Russell Group, so a few other institutions have mentioned this. What is the Russell Group? This is the UK equivalent of the US Ivy League. These are universities that are very much invested in ensuring that they maintain the highest quality facilities, that we attract the best talent globally in terms of academics who can do both teaching so that you access and you acquire knowledge, but that can also do research in terms of pushing the boundaries of what we know and how we can use research to impact the world around us. So, you know, in the context of the current pandemic, for example, it's universities that have also played a very big part in the discovery of and development of vaccines. So at Nottingham, I'm proud to say our School of Life Sciences have been both part of some of the existing trials, but they're also looking at their own development of a different and alternative vaccine that would be known as a universal vaccine. So that's just an example of the kind of research that might happen at a Russell Group university and that is happening at Nottingham. So our courses are divided into 5 different faculties. So you have arts, engineering, medicine and health sciences, science, and then the social sciences. And so within social sciences, you have law and business and economics, which are quite popular subjects as well for students from West Africa and Nigeria in particular. So we're a campus-based university. That means that you can have accommodation on campus, you walk to your lectures, you can walk to sports facilities. You don't need to leave the campus for anything, but our position on the edge of Nottingham City makes it very accessible to the city centre. It's just 15 minutes on the bus, and then it's also quite accessible to London, to Birmingham, to Manchester, where you spend less than 2 hours on a train to access any of those major cities. So if you're looking at transport connections, visiting family, it's very centrally located in the UK. So we guarantee accommodation for all international students. And the university has a really big range of extracurricular activities as well. So whether that's considering year in industry options that are a formal part of your course, so you might spend an extra year to gain some work experience, or whether that's looking at internship opportunities during the holidays, whether it's looking at volunteering opportunities, or just developing a hobby, developing your leadership skills through the Students' Union. The different opportunities are kind of endless, really. Now, all of those things together make Nottingham graduates very attractive to employers, because you should have achieved good academics to gain admission. So you know that Nottingham students are smart, but then that whole other range of activities, the global outlook that we have, makes Nottingham students very attractive to employers. And in case you're not
Emma,
aware,
sorry, you have 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. And then I don't know if this has already been touched on, but the rules now will mean that anybody graduating with a bachelor's degree in the UK will have an automatic 2-year postgraduate work visa. So you can really leverage all of the career connections that the university has, so that you get those internships during your course, but then you can also look at work opportunities afterwards as well. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer those afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, and thank you all. So while students sent in their registration, they also sent some questions. So I will start off with those and any member of the panelists can take up the question. So applying to the university. So please, anybody. I hope I'm not breaking.
You were at some point, so if you can repeat that.
Okay. All right, so I said that we've had some questions before the session, and I would like to ask those questions. So any member of the panelists can answer the question. So the first question says, what is the process of applying to a university? Yes,
Want me to
Samuel,
start with
please.
that one?
So the process of applying to university, is that the question? What do you do? The process, particularly in the UK, is to go through UCAS, and basically the girls or pupils, obviously I'm speaking from our perspective, we're an all-girls school, write what's called a personal statement. And they should work with their heads of year, which we very much do. We sit down with pupils, and because we really know the pupils, we can help them with their personal statements. We've also helped with work experience and so on. So the personal statement is a very important process of university application. And I would strongly recommend, and this is the advice that we give to our pupils, that they really gain lots of experience, whether that's work experience or they try leadership skills and so on. And you've got to make yourself stand out. And so that's a really, really important thing. Universities, I'm sure people on this call will agree, they accept thousands and thousands of applications every year. So what is it that is going to make your application stand out? Your personal statement via UCAS, that's UCAS, and that's really important. Of course, your grades as well are really important, and every subject, every degree will have a particular requirement and prerequisites. So it's really important that you have a look at whatever course you apply for and you meet those prerequisites. Thank you.
Thank you. Sama, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as a university, for undergraduate programs, we will take applications via UCAS, as has previously spoken about. We also take applications directly for undergraduate international students by agents. For postgraduate students, we'll accept applications either via an agent or students can apply directly via our website. The application process is fairly similar for most courses. You put your application in, it includes details of yourself, previous qualifications you're currently taking, personal statement, and usually a reference from your current academic institution. And then it's assessed by our admissions team and the faculty that you will be studying in, who will then come back to you with either questions or an offer, or if you don't meet our requirements, they'll explain why. There are a few courses with exceptions. Medicine is a slightly different process, which is slightly more in-depth, and it's better to speak about that one slightly separately. That's the standard process for us.
Okay, thank you so much. So the second question is, what are the COVID-19 protocols put in place for my child's safety in the boarding school? So I believe this is directed to boarding schools. So can we have anyone from the boarding school?
I'm happy to take that one.
Okay, thank you.
So I think all of us here that are representing the boarding schools are probably following a similar set of procedures. We have been following these procedures now for the best part of a year, with guidance obviously from the Department for Education, Public Health England and the Boarding Schools Association. As I think you're aware, all schools in the UK, or in England I should say, reopened on March the 8th, so about 2 weeks ago, with all students returning to face-to-face education. We are required to test students, whether they are boarding or day students, twice a week, and also to test staff using a lateral flow test. And depending on the specific circumstances, all schools, I think, are continuing to follow social distancing, the wearing of masks, promoting sanitization in terms of washing hands regularly with sanitizer, and managing visitors to and from the campus to ensure, obviously, or to minimize the risk of any infection. but very strict procedures are in place. I think there's been very few cases of COVID amongst boarding students, as far as I'm aware. And I think all of us from the boarding school sector here are very proud of what we've achieved over the last 12 months and very confident that we can provide a safe environment for children to study, whether that's now or looking ahead to September.
And may I just add to Mark, actually,
Okay.
if that's okay? Mark is correct in that we all are following incredibly similar guidance. In fact, boarding schools probably do go above and beyond government guidance. We have year group bubbles so that all the pupils are with girls who are the same age as them. It's a legal requirement, or a government requirement, I should say, that pupils are wearing masks at all times at the moment, including in the classrooms. And we also, our headmistress has been actually fantastic through this process, and we have treated the school with what is called EnviroShield. And if anyone is interested to know a little bit more about that, I can send a link. But effectively, our school has been treated with a particular spray, which means that the virus is unable to stick to any surfaces. And therefore, I believe that's one thing that's really kept our community safe. And we've had 0 cases of COVID in the boarding school. And I think that's a phenomenal job, really. It's obviously, as everybody knows, it was a tough time in the UK, particularly over December time. And I'm incredibly proud of the vaccination rollout and how we are going now. The country is in a much better place, and that's thank you to many scientists. But I think we have really pushed to protect our pupils, and absolutely it is across lots of boarding schools. So I think, it's really important to choose a school that has dealt with the COVID situation seriously, and some schools have remained open over the holidays, for example. We understand that pupils can't get home. I think that speaks volumes for many schools who have stayed open, and we really do care about the pupils and their well-being and their welfare, minimizing travel for them, and staff have given up their time to make sure that they are there to look after the pupils and support them through this time. And not only that, it's really important that you find a school that also supports the mental well-being of pupils, particularly after going through something that has been a very different year. And again, I'd like to say that, Harrogate Ladies College in particular have really worked with pupil well-being. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you. So now let's go to the questions in the chat box. Involved to have my master's done in the.
Hi, Christiana. Please, could you repeat that, because you broke
So
up
can anyone? Okay.
Just in case.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the first question says, please, I need to know the processes involved to have my master's done in the UK.
Okay, I'm happy to take this one.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're looking to study at master's level in the UK, typically the universities will require that you have a bachelor's degree. And if you're applying from Nigeria, we will accept the Nigerian bachelor's degree on the same basis as a UK bachelor's degree. So if our website says that you need a 2-1, then you need a second class upper from a Nigerian university. If you haven't achieved a second upper, then you need to check whether the requirements for the 2-2 would also be the same. So could you mute your microphone? Thank you. Yeah, so depending on your background, some universities may also accept if you have a second class lower. So at Nottingham, we have a small number of courses that we would accept students with a second class lower, depending on the exact GPA that you have. So at that point, it's very good to work with an advisor or reach out to the university and clarify. And then there are also some universities that will offer a pre-master's program in case your bachelor's degree result perhaps isn't up to the requirement that the university has. So that allows you to come maybe for 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year, you know, and bring up the academic level that you have in order to gain admission. The other thing I should add is that there are quite a lot of conversion MSc programs. So you don't always need to do your master's in the same subject area as your bachelor's. There may be options to switch specialization, but again, check what the entry criteria is with each university that you're considering. And then I think Francis had his hand up. Do you want to add anything, Francis?
Yes,
so Francis, please.
I was actually going to add something, and then Emma did mention that towards the end of our talk there. And it's about the students who do not quite have the requirements to get onto a direct master's. They could actually consider either a university-owned pre-masters or a top-up, or consider pathway providers like ourselves, where we do offer pre-masters, which would help to lead into a master's degree. And this is also true for students who've got HND. So if you've got HND from a Nigerian polytechnic, for example, and you're thinking of a master's degree, then a pathway in a pre-master's would help to get you to the level where you do qualify to go on to a master's. And we do have this at some of our partner universities, as you can see on my screen. So that was what I was actually going to add on to that conversation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the second question is, do I need to write IELTS and SAT exams before gaining admission? Do I need to write IELTS or SAT before gaining admissions?
So if I could also just add to that, so it is not needed for when you make the admission, because for us, we can give you a conditional offer, but you will still need it eventually. So if you are able to write the IELTS UKVI before your admission's good, or otherwise you would have to consider taking the examination once a conditional offer is given. It is not just for the purpose of admission, but more importantly, it is one of the requirements for the UKVI student visa, especially if you're coming onto a pathway like ourselves. I do recognize that for universities that run an integrated program where they are able to offer a CAS, which is the Certificate of Acceptance of Studies, students might not necessarily need to write an English language test. The WIAC could suffice. But for pathway providers like ourselves, we would require students to have the UKVI IELTS or the PTE UKVI.
Okay, thank you, Samuel.
Can I just add to this as well?
Okay.
With the pathway provider, so just to add what Francis was mentioning there. So with study group, we can actually accept a YXC6 if for online studies. So currently, for those students that are happy to start online, we can actually accept a YXC6. The IELTS UKVI, as Francis alluded to, is required for when students need to apply for their visa and travel for face-to-face studies. That currently we are allowing for online studies. So if you are happy to start online from your home country, then we can allow that, but that IELTS will be required later on.
Sam, I thought you wanted to add something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, we, as well as the IELTS, will also accept the WIAC. We accept the whole range of English qualifications, so GCSEs, A-level, IB as well. The major changes for us for IELTS this year is because of COVID, we'll also accept the online version. So we'll accept the IELTS indicator test as well as the physical tests. And we will shortly be launching our own online English test. So students can take that as well. And we'll accept that for entry as well to our courses.
Okay, thank you. The next question, please, we have 2 minutes to answer each question. We are almost running out of time. So this next question is, I would like to know the requirement to study MSc nursing in the UK. Do you have anyone? MSc nursing in the UK?
Yeah, I can come in on this. So I've already put a link in the chat to one of the MSc programs that we have. So I think perhaps for this particular person, we can book a follow-up appointment, because we have MSc in nursing for people that have already done a bachelor's in nursing. But then we also have a 2-year MSc, which is for people who have not previously done nursing, but who would now like to enter the profession. And so for that, normally you would need to have a first degree with a second class upper, although if you've had a very high 2-2, then depending on any work experience that you have, there might be some leeway around that to get onto the graduate entry nursing. And then for the BSc nursing, normally you would need A-levels in relevant science subjects, or you could do an accepted science foundation course as well. Thank you.
Okay, I think that answers the next question that says I have BSc in biochemistry. Can I apply for MSc nursing in the UK? So I believe that person has the answer already. Okay, so the next question says, can a student studying in your school from their home country, or must they travel to the UK? And is the tuition lower than that when you study online? So I believe the person is asking if there is online studies and if tuition fees are lower studying on.
I can answer that one. So as mentioned before, so we do allow students to start the program online. Currently, because of the current pandemic, the students that had started in either the September intake or the January intake, we are allowing them to study the whole program online. Come September, depending on what happens in regards to the UK and the government announcements. Currently, we will be allowing some students online. However, we will be expected to arrive on campus by the second term. As for the fees, unfortunately, no, there is no change to the fees. There will be the same fees for when students do start online.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, if I could just add a little bit to what Winston mentioned. So there are different elements to the fees that would usually be placed on students' offer letters. So you would have the tuition fee, which is a standard fee. So regardless of whether a student is studying online or face-to-face, that amount remains the same. But students could obviously make savings, in areas of accommodation where, of course, if they are studying from their own countries, they do not have to subscribe for an accommodation until they are ready to arrive in the UK. So I guess in a way, they could make some savings, but just as Winston mentioned, the tuition fee is for the teaching, and you would still be having the same quality teaching, whether you're studying online or face-to-face in the
UK. Thank you. So the next question says, good morning. I'm a part-time student of mass communication at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. So I would like to know my requirements to pursue journalism in a university in the UK. So the student has mass communication in Nigeria, wants to study journalism. Is anyone taking that?
I can take this. I think
right, thank you.
I would want to find out more. Are they looking to use the studies that they have already started in order to join an undergraduate program? In which case we would need to see their transcript, what they have studied so far. In some instances, if they've done, maybe the first or the second year already, we might be able to consider that. And I think different universities would look at that on a case-by-case basis. If they want to come for a master's program, then obviously they would need to complete and graduate with the bachelor's degree program, and then depending on the university that they're applying to, check to see whether it requires a second class upper or a second class lower in order to gain admission. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the next question says, please. Okay. Hello. Please drop your questions in the chat box. Okay, so the next question says, please, I work I work as an admin and human resource. I would like to do masters in human resource management or management in the UK. I'm married with 2 kids. I really don't know if this person wants to know. I don't know if this person wants to know the requirements, but I think that's what the person wants. Maybe the requirements studying human resource or management in the UK. And I believe this is masters.
So I think it's a very similar response to the last one. So if you can reach out to the Nubi team with the exact credentials that you have, then I think they'll be able to advise on courses that you would be eligible for. And if you're not currently eligible, then to look and see what further study you might need to do, or whether you need to look at a pathway course or a top-up program as appropriate.
Thank you for that. So the next question says, what are the scholarship opportunities available for me to study in the UK?
Do we know what level of students? So are they looking to study at boarding school or at university?
Well, this was not specified, so maybe we can have both boarding school and university.
Okay, well, for Padworth, we offer academic scholarships up to 25% of the tuition fee, which are based on how the student performs in the admissions process, including a specific scholarship paper. Those scholarships are open to candidates from obviously Nigeria and other countries, and we would progress the scholarship process as part of the admissions process.
Thank you, Summer. Oh, sorry, Brooks, please go on. Go on, Brooks.
Thank you very much. Gosh, I'm not going to miss Zoom. I don't think it's really difficult, isn't it, trying to time it right. Thank you very much. I think you know, at Harrogate Ladies College we do offer academic scholarships, sports scholarships, and music scholarships. So I would really recommend that you know, you get in touch with the college, and if you have a particular area that you would like to sort of gain a scholarship in, whether it is academic, an all-round scholarship, or PE, sports, music. I think, you know, if you do get in touch, very similar, it's part of the admissions process. We have scholars dinners and things like that. So if you do gain a scholarship, there's lots of fun things that the pupils can be involved in as well. And yes, please do get in touch and we can help with any of that.
Okay, Samuel, please.
Yeah, so we offer, for undergraduate, we offer either a £3,000 or £3,500 scholarship for every year of undergraduate studies. So it depends on the subject the student does. So arts courses attract a £3,000 scholarship, science courses £3,500. For postgraduate, though, we've gone a different direction this year. We don't have any postgraduate scholarships for this year. What we have done instead is we decided it was fairer to equalise the tuition fees between our UK students and our international students. Our international students will now pay the same tuition fees as our UK students, which means that our postgraduate programmes start from £7,850 and they go up to £9,600, with the one exception, which is MA social work, which has a different fee. So there are no scholarships for postgraduate, but instead we will be charging less than we have in previous years, and it's the same as our UK students, as we thought that was a fairer option for students all over the world, really.
Okay. Thank you. So Caroline, please, because of our time, we had one more question, and that will be all for this session. So we'll still be answering other questions. We'll get in touch with you students after this session. So Caroline, please.
Okay, so at Brookhouse College, we do have a West Africa and a Nigeria scholarship opportunity that Nubi in the office have all the information about that, so they could reach out. We have a football scholarship, a sporting scholarship, and an academic scholarship. They aren't 100%, so don't think that if you haven't got any money that you're going to get there entirely paid for, because that doesn't happen. But we do review things things on a case-by-case basis, and we would really need to know the academic profile, and also to know that you're a serious applicant who wanted to come to Brook House, that you're not there in the marketplace just to barter against other schools. So we want to know it's a serious application, you're really in love with joining the Brook House family, know what programme you want to do, maybe you want to be in the football academy, and tell us about what skills and ability you're going to bring to the school, whether that's sporting or it's your academic credentials. So yeah, talk to us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I think the last question here will be, I would like to know about top-up degree course. I studied electrical and electronics engineering in Nigeria for HND, and now I like to further my studies under computer science or computer engineering for top-up degree. So I believe that will be for pathways. Please, 1 minute to answer the question.
This is for computer science, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming the student is coming from a WIAC background or probably IGCSE. So again, 5 subjects, a minimum of C, including English and mathematics, would be preferable. And the other 3 subjects are not, are either, neither here nor there. So they could be any other 3 subjects, but for all subjects, the common denominators are usually English and mathematics. And with regarding the IELTS UKVI, we would require students to have a minimum of 5.0 for them to qualify to come onto the foundation.
Okay. So thank you. I believe that's all we can take for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. So I would like Mrs. Rose Omonubi to give the closing remark now. Thank you. We'll be taking our questions, other questions.
I think you are missing one question. I think 2 or 3 people have asked, what does it take to study medicine in the UK? There are 3 people that asked that question, and they're missing it. Maybe somebody can just answer that.
Okay, yes.
Well, I can share a few thoughts. It's obviously very competitive to gain entry to medical school. The normal route will be to study A-levels, and typically, depending on the medical school that you're applying to, you would need 2 sciences within the mix of A-levels, chemistry and biology. You would also need to sit a specific admissions test for medical school. There are 2 such tests, the BMAT and the UCAT. In some cases, you would also need to do a specific type of interview for the medical school, which is not always the case for applying to most universities. The other thing to note is the deadline for medical school applications is typically mid-October, which is earlier than the deadline for most other university applications, which is mid-January, and it's incredibly competitive. So you need to be capable of achieving, A or A star grades in your A levels in most cases in order to progress on to medical school.
Could I just come in and add something that I think people don't always realise about medicine is that the public universities in the UK have a limit on the number of international students that they can admit. So we cannot have more than 10% of the, or I think 11% of our medical students that are from outside of the UK. So naturally that creates intense competition for those places at UK universities if you are an international student. So very often it's not enough to have the grades that are stipulated, but you do also need to be able to score very highly on the admissions test and also provide a real kind of justification, show proof that you've had some exposure to what becoming a medical doctor really means. It's not a case of having heard about it or having watched TV series, but you've stepped.
I think she's frozen.
I think Dahiru Uma.
He's a student and we are out of
Okay,
time, so we
may
just
I just add something here? I think there was a the last question is that he's studying biomedical, biological sciences or biochemistry at the University of Lagos. Can she study medicine in the UK after the biochemistry?
I think we've answered that question, ma.
Oh,
No, okay.
Emma,
I think Emma answered in general. Yes, she answered the question in general. Yes,
okay. Okay. All right then. We have had a productive session this afternoon, and my advice is that if you have questions that we haven't answered, please be assured that we will get to you with the answer. And we are always here to help you. So we will welcome your questions to keep coming. Nubi Education will be able to answer your questions or send it to our partners who will answer the questions and we send them back to you. I'm sorry, we have just 1 hour for each session, and this session is going to end it's ended already, and by 12:30, is it 12:30? We are starting the Dubai and Malaysia session. So if you want to put in applications to our partner schools, please get in touch with us. And it's going to be free for you. So you just put the applications, let it come rolling now that you have heard from the horse's mouth, and we'll be able to help you. Thank you so much for this, for your time. And thank you for the partners that joined us today. And please remember that Nubi has a fair starting in April, and you have more universities and more boarding schools joining us at that time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.